you know, we're behind, but that's okay. Hello, I'm happy to see you. There's some info in the ticker at the bottom of the screen. While I'm doing that, while I'm adding a little bit more info, I am going to be updating the description because I'm a little bit behind, and we're going to have the sources in the bottom as well. So let me know what you're drinking. I'm drinking my Clearly Canadian red raspberry. I thought that it showed that we were going to stream all day, but when I made the stream this morning, when I was going downtown, it was unlisted all day long, but that's okay. We're pivoting. I'll tell you my high and low. Also, I didn't realize like there was kind of a stigma to high and lows. Like some people were kind of, I don't know, like, oh, my mom and dad do that, and it's so like, I hate it. I don't know what to tell you. I do it because I learned it when I was in outpatient therapy, and I'm gonna cry. No, we're not. Like, we're not crying today. It was like, oh my God. It was just kind of a game changer because like it wasn't like toxic. Why are we crying so early? It kind of a tough subject. You may like it maybe not, this might not be the stream for everyone. I'm only gonna say this person's name probably once. It's not gonna be in the title. It's not gonna be in the description. I'm not gonna use her name in the stream because I don't want to send people to like to her page. The reason that I'm nichely going to like talk about this person maybe in a hopefully different way because like we're sectioning off a small sliver of the story in the bite model, not in a bite model perspective. It's bite model / Jonestown / NXIVM / culty thing. So I don't know if you've seen the things about Timber Bowman, but if you haven't, it's a young lady who struggles with her mental health, and I would, it struggles with, so I'm gonna put the trigger warning right now. Like, I'm just gonna give you some like a little bit of background before I go into details about what the trigger warning is gonna be. We're not gonna watch a ton of her videos. We may watch one or two. Normally I like to give you a whole context, but I think in this case it would look more like a pile-on, and I don't want to do that. I want to be very like delicately tiptoeing around this because what I want to talk about is what's different between somebody like her and someone who displays similar characteristics but has charisma, and how they diverge between this lady and then someone who ends up as a cult leader. Because you end up going one way or the other. And it's very interesting. So, trigger warning, mental health, stalking, I don't know what else. I'll look. Let me add. I'll pin mental. I'll pin this in a second. Don't diagnose anyone in this video. Don't do it. You'll be put in timeout. I will not diagnose. You can talk about behaviors. Don't diagnose. Okay? I need to see what y'all are doing in the chat because I want to say hello. Whoops. Hello. Also, hello. Oh my goodness. 34 months? Well, that deserves a celebratory howdy hey. Wrong lever, Kronk. Hold on. Let me turn the sound down.
Pull the lever, Kronk. Wrong lever.
Oops. Too low.
Pull the lever, Kronk. Wrong lever.
It was too low, but that's okay. Hold on. Wait. Let's see if this one's too low.
Oh man. Wow. Okay. Okay.
That was from the good place. Hold on. We're gonna play a good one. I'm trying to find good. We're gonna do some we're gonna take pauses. I'm seeing so many Catherine Tates, and I know I'm me and a few are the only people that like Catherine Tates. We'll do pomp and circumstance. Just as a howdy. Feel free to like the stream on the way in. Seven days, let's go. Sign you up at the bottom of this. Oh, Lex. Wedding kazoos? I will do those as well. If we get to 20 likes, I'll play the wedding kazoos. I'll give you my high. I drove myself to my doctor appointment that I go to on Wednesdays down at the medical center. First time in 4 years. That's my high. My low? I'm a little bit in a pain flare, but that's my high. That's a big high for me. That's my win. And I told the receptionist about it, and I told my physical therapist at the hospital about it. Oh, it was a big one. And then I went to the pool afterwards, which is why this is happening. We're at 11 likes. At 20, we'll play Wedding Kazoo. And now I get to tell y'all about it. Let me see if y'all know. Do y'all know who Timber is? Baby Snark shall be arriving next month. Let's. Oh my god. I'm so happy for you. Another little baby Snark. Do we need a baby Snark counter? I feel like we need a baby Snark counter down here. Also, should we make... I think we need to make the color of this color. Whatever this one is. Where's our little dropper? I think we need to get it from the quilt. There's a purple back here. No, not that color. Like, no, this color right here. This kind of purple? No. Like, no, it needs to be like, I'm distracted. No. No. Let me live my life. Color, color, color. I'm like, there's a color back here that I want. Like, the colors are pretty in real life, but like, I don't want it to be red. Make it pink, make it blue. And I want it to be like opaque. There we go. Yeah, purpley. But transparent. There we go. It's a vibe. Okay. I will say her name. We're going to call her, if y'all want to talk about her name in the chat, you can call her Lady T. We're talking about Timber. If you don't know who she is, Do We Know Them has done a video on them, on her. Repzilla did a video on her. The reason we're doing a sliver. We're doing a sliver of a video because I just want there we go. Whoa. I want to do. Why is my edit? Can I just have this be purple? Talking about the differences what actually makes a person dangerous, and not just strange, but like dangerous. So in this stream, I'm going to like test one specific thesis. The dangerous ingredient like it's not just the like strangeness or the belief of the strangeness or the size of a specific platform or like of someone's platform. It's the charisma, the ability to make other people, sorry about that, adopt your reality as their own. And in this person's case, they don't have it. When you look at people like Jim Jones or Keith Raniere, NXIVM dude, Jim Jones, I think everybody knows who he is. If you don't, it's a very tragic situation. And, I mean, in both cases, like any cult leader's case, that classic cult and cult leader framework, Robert Lifton's like thought reform, the bite model stuff, describe that kind of like machinery of control. I mean, we apply it to like anti-MLM stuff too. I'm like dipping my toe into this specifically because of the cult stuff. I'm going to stay in my anti-MLM lane, and we're not diagnosing anything. We're going to watch some of the videos, but I do not want this to be a pile-on. I find it interesting in this specific case because this person, and again, I'm not using her name more than the 2 times that I said it earlier. I'm not going to have it in the description. I don't have it in the title. She doesn't have the charisma, obviously, to make other people adopt her reality because she is in her own, like, I'm trying not to like use words that like would be diagnosing her. She's not in a reality that is accurate to like what's actually going on. So we're going to talk about like online audiences and like how some commentators have like fed into these situations, and I'm going to like dip into this, how to cover them responsibly, but hopefully this isn't going to be boring as so. We are going to watch some of her videos, and trigger warning, like, very uncomfortable. She's also very much out of reality. She lies about what has happened in like reality. 100% fact check. She's lying about what's going on. So I'm going to be describing like publicly documented behavior. Do not diagnose anyone. I'm not going to diagnose anyone. I'm not a medical professional. I think we all know that, but it's also scrolling along the bottom of the screen. Do not go find this person, comment on DM, or harass anyone referenced here. Recognition, so you can avoid, not engage. That's why I'm not blurring anybody. That's why we don't blur anybody on anti-MLM stuff. Recognition, so you can avoid them. So, also, if someone that you love is struggling, please call or text the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, 988. It's free, confidential, 24/7 for any mental health crisis, and I'm going to pin that on the chat. Just give me a second, please. That's what I forgot to pin. I'm nervous about this because I'm trying to be very, like, responsible, and I'm nervous. And please preserve and promote your emotional well-being and hop out when you need to. And if you're torn about staying, that means you should leave. Just if you need that encouragement, hop out. We are happy to see you, and your mental health is more important. let's see. I'm not trying to do like heavy topics. I just think like there's a little bit of an area that I can tiptoe in, and it is a strange opportunity to look at this little sliver of a situation. Okay. Please hold. Okay. All right. I'm going to pin this. Okay, here we go. Pin. All right, and I just need to edit this. I'm sorry I'm like a little bit disjointed. I'm doing the best I can. It's difficult to edit. I did not grab everything I needed to because I have the copy the description because I had all my sources here. Paste. I'm sorry, I'm taking a little bit. Again, we are going to watch some videos. Normally we try to watch something in its entirety, but in this situation, we're not, because I think it would come across as more of a pile-on because of everything, like everyone who's covered it. And you're gonna get the picture, and it's gonna be super uncomfortable. Trigger warning. I'm gonna put the trigger warnings in the ticker going across. So trigger warnings, mental health crisis, psychological distress, stalking, fixation and obsessive behavior, pregnancy loss and miscarriage. This individual talks about it. She never experienced it. She never experienced it, and that is proven. In this case, I'm not going to play those videos. I'm just telling you I listened to all of that, and she never experienced it. That's the level of out of touch that she is in this whole reality she's created for herself. References to children. The situation does involve a child, the man that she's obsessed with, his daughter. Some claims regarding like the touch on minors, not sexual, but hyper focus on someone else's child, and some other strange, this sounds like a fever dream. It's very strange. We're not going to get into it, but again, if she had charisma, if she was a different type of person with charisma, this could easily be a different situation where she allegedly, not allegedly, but hypothetically could be a cult leader. In my opinion. Trigger warning, family conflict, and alleged abuse. I'm smiling because I'm nervous. So, I'm just going to put it short on the ticker on the bottom. I'm doing the best I can. I'll do a trigger warning here. Oh no. Oh God. Rubik. And 30. Okay. Okay. Medium. Medium. Why can't I do that? Oh, I can do that. It just won't let me. Font. Bold. Sorry. Trigger warning, just about everything under the sun, dealing with mental and emotional health troubles. Can't hang, that's fine. There are several other lives I know going on right now. Yeah. Okay. 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 I have so what I guess we should watch a video first. TikTok has actually gone in and made some of her videos very difficult to download, which I think is responsible on their part. Normally, I can strip accounts pretty easily. Like I downloaded her entire account this morning, but several of them don't have any audio when I download them, but they do have audio when you play them on her TikTok account. Now, don't be a chicken nugget. You're a squirrel. I'm going to keep reiterating. This is not a pile-on. This is showing you an insight to someone who let me just read. Let me just like sit with you for a second. Like, don't press any buttons. Little computer. Like, Can I just put you on my computer right now? Are we good? Are we friends? No? We're not? Okay, I'll just hold you right here. I'll just read, make a little paragraph. She is not the focus, like, of the stream. She's not like my hook. She is not my thesis. She's part of an example of, like, a bigger idea that of, like, an example for what my thesis is, I guess. But the one question that I want answered today is what actually makes a person dangerous. And not weird, but dangerous. Because you can have the strangest belief in the world and be totally harmless. And you can have a belief that sounds almost reasonable and end up with a body count, right? So, what's the difference? And here's my little thesis. And I'm gonna spend this whole video, the stream, with the squirrels, maybe going on a squirrel trail, and hopefully responsibly going on a squirrel trail, testing this. Unfortunately, like, not super prepared, but kind of prepared. But the dangerous ingredient isn't the belief. It's the charisma. The ability to make other people adopt your reality as, like, their own. And that's not, like, new. I'm not like, oh my god, I'm the only one. I'm saying in this case, like, specifically with her, it's an interesting like example that is available for everybody to see. And I guess I want to show you both ends of it, but I also want you to see, like, her. And I want to show you what it looks like when someone has it in spades, and what the exact, like, same raw materials look like when it's missing. And it's definitely missing in Lady T. And that's what we're calling her, because I don't want to, like, not that, like, YouTube ever picks up my videos, but I don't want to add to the pile-on that's going on with her right now. So. Anyways, oh, we got 24 likes. If y'all have your any member milestones, put them in the chat. We're gonna play the wedding kazoos, because I'm not gonna not keep my word, because we have 20 likes. Let's go. And I'm gonna get one of our videos to play. So, 2 ground rules. Oh, I guess I forgot to check. I'm way behind on everything. It's 37 months. Let's go. Let's go. Also, I need this color so we can match. Copy, edit, color, paste. Oh, does this one move? No, we're good. Here's 2 ground rules, and yes, we're going to show examples to like support the thesis. But yes, hopefully it works. 2 ground rules though. Rule 1, not a doctor. Y'all know that. I know that. Because we're having the 2 rules because part of this touches someone who appears to be genuinely struggling, and I don't want to do this in a cheap kind of way. Also, sorry, thank you for your membership. I said thank you in my brain. I didn't say thank you like out loud. I'm very chaotic because I'm super nervous. Sorry. The wedding kazoos, especially when I'm using my weed pen. I love that for you. Yeah. Why am I so nervous? That's okay. This person genuinely looks like they're struggling, and I think this is also something to talk about that's important. I still want to talk about it, and I also want to have some rules. There's obviously a lot of information on the bottom. Obviously, I'm not a doctor. I'm going to describe behavior. You're welcome to describe behavior too. Behavior that's publicly documented, obviously, in video she's posted. We got it, right? Same rules that we do all the time in anti-MLM. I'm not going to diagnose anyone. I can't see inside someone's head, and neither can the chat, right? Rule 2, do not go find, comment on, DM, or dogpile on anyone that I referenced today if someone's content shows up on your feed. I recommend scroll past. I'm not your mom, though. I'm not going to, like, control what you do. I just can recommend that you can avoid and not engage the person at the center of this. The guy that she is stalking asked people to stop harassing his stalker. I personally don't think that talking about the dangers of how cults are established and the nuanced topic of charisma, the facet of charisma, creating cult leaders, and this, like, is breaking his request. That's my only opinion. But I think he's right. If you use this video as a map to go bother anyone, you've missed the entire point of, like, my video. But, let me see if I can. Exactly. It doesn't help how many people on TikTok are hyping her up. Yeah. And I was talking, like, I think something, and this is just me, and here's one of the questions that I'd be interested in finding out. And this is not me judging her. I'm curious if her posts on TikTok are dissuading individuals from getting mental health treatment because of how she shows up in her mental health treatment facilities. I'm curious. I'm not judging. I'm curious to have that answered from people who choose to go or choose to not go, and knowing what that number is, because she does have influence as a public figure online. And I would hold that commentary that I would have until I would know that information. I would hope that her influence wouldn't deter anyone from getting mental health treatment. But let's watch some of her videos first so y'all can get an idea, and then we'll talk about Jim Jones. Because I think some of y'all don't know who Lady T is. And I'm just going to use that name, and y'all can... I please use like Lady T in the chat, because I don't want to have her name used in the chat, or I don't have her name in the description. I don't have her name in the title, because I want to talk about charisma more than her be the focus. Okay. I'm gonna find the right deal. I don't know how far this... Let me tell you one piece of information. Her last name that she has on her TikTok is the last name of the person she's stalking. Her real last name is not the last name on her TikTok. I mean, I know what it is. It's easy to find out what it is. I don't know if it's something that I should say. I'm just nervous to, like, how do I navigate this? So let my brain buffer for a second. I'm looking at... I'll let y'all scroll with me for a second. Hold on. I'm nervous. Okay. I'll say her name one more time. This is Timber. We're going to call her Lady T for the rest of the stream. She goes by Timber Sperry. That is not her last name. That is the last name of the man she's stalking. If she shows some very consistent characteristics of high control group leaders, but she doesn't have the charisma that other cult leaders have, so we're left with a situation where an example that, in my opinion, is one of the examples that kind of it proves. It's one of the examples that proves my thesis that what makes a person dangerous, or what is the reason that someone can be dangerous as opposed to weird, and that one of that factor is like charisma, like dangerous as opposed to weird in the terms of like living under the cult umbrella. So we're not going to watch. We're going to watch a few of these so y'all can get an idea of what I'm talking about. We're going to look at a broader example of cult leaders, but this is the person that does not have the charisma. I'm just really nervous. I'm sorry. I'm talking slowly because I'm so nervous about trying to be like professional and careful as someone who also struggles with their mental health. Struggling with your mental health can look messy, and I don't want to dogpile like I was talking about earlier. And you can struggle with your mental health and do some really not good things. And I'm also not the one to like be the hammer of Thor. I'm only trying to talk about a sliver of characteristics, charisma, and I'm just talking about like, y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm sorry I keep like buffering. How long? It goes back. Well, this is not. No, that was an accidental click. A lot of these are when she is in inpatient. Story time of why I went to jail for harassment. Normally I'm the type of person that watches everything. We're not doing that this time. We're going to watch a select few.
Hey guys, here is another story time about me and Dylan, our relationship that's going on. So basically, in the beginning, when I was like, okay, I'm literally still having all of these visions of this guy, I'm literally still feeling love for this guy and all that kind of stuff, I was like, honestly, I really wanted to start making music about him, but I was kind of scared that somehow he would find it.
Hi, Marianne.
Okay. And that was around September 3rd, when I first moved in. I was like, OMG, I really want to make music about this guy. And then I promised myself, I was like, honestly, I'm not even going to take my love for this guy onto social media, because I didn't want people bringing up my past from 2, 3, 4 years ago of, oh, well, you stalked this person, so now we think you're doing it to this person. You know what I mean? So I kept my love for him away from social media. And then around like December, I can't remember, so September, October, November, December, I was like, honestly, I want to start making music again. it literally took me 4 fucking months to decide, like, should I make music about this guy, or should I just stop making music? Like, I just didn't know if I wanted to even make music anymore, because it's been a couple of years since I've even made a song. I do have a few other songs out. I don't remember the account name at all. Like, I can't remember the name for it, but I had a few songs out. I literally had a diss track song about the Cody guy, something like on a treadmill, do the swerve, she a Carlson, something like that, basically saying how I reject him. Like, okay, so, but anyways, and as for the Dom guy, I literally made diss tracks about that dude, literally, and I deleted them. It was on this account, and I was making diss tracks about him as I was literally living in this home facility that I was in with Dylan. And so when I came back here after all of that stuff happened, and I was like, I honestly feel like I do want to put my love out for him on social media, because I was like, maybe if I do, I'll actually like blow up, and other people will actually like see their music. So that was really the only reason why I ever actually decided to really talk about my love for this guy, is because I kind of wanted it to just be a little stalkerish, so he could like go viral. basically so he could go viral, because I was like, dude, it's so fucking lame how you guys only have 200 fucking followers. So I was just like, and I was like, and your guys' music is really fucking good. Honestly, it's kind of making me feel a little weird that they don't have more music out. Like, I'm like, you guys been in a band for 3 years and you only have 10 songs out? Maybe it's a little more than 10. I can't remember how many I've counted, but for those of you that want to hear their music, I can show you, wait, can I show you guys their music? Let me go see. And for those of you who love my videos and my TikTok content, let me know what else kind of like videos you guys would like from me. I can only tell the truth. So I will make sure that it will get out there for you guys to listen to watch. I don't know if you're deaf or blind or mute or whatever. However you watch and listen to things, rather if you can or can't. But thank you guys so much for the positive energy. For those of you who are actually engaging positively. Yeah, thank you. And these are all of the songs that I've made about him so far.
Oh no.
It is Just Like Her, Baby, My Direction, Had Me at
Good
Hello,
luck, Lex.
Love Game, Checklist, Tsunami, Wake the Room Up, Right Now, Give Me a Sign, Too Deep, Supernatural. That song is about,
Exactly, Broken Waffles.
as you can see at the bottom, what it says, awareness. No Place to Call Home. That one, I don't really know when that one's gonna drop. Don't Look Back. Basically telling me it's okay to be in love with Dylan. Don't look back on anything in my past. Don't let anybody try to...
She thinks that every song that they've created are about her. I'm trying to just like this video's just basically let y'all watch it, because this is an overview a little bit, but again, if y'all know how I like giving context so that y'all can really kind of understand the nuance of someone or a Zoom call or whatever, this is such a I would say delicate situation because of her mental health. I trying to tread very carefully. This is a wild, wild, wild story. And her, if you're wondering why it says Timber Bowman and why her name is Timber Sperry on TikTok, it's because she believes that she is married to / in a committed / I don't know, some kind of whatever with Dylan. And that is not the case. And that's as nice as I can be about it. That is not the case. That is so that is not the case. Is what we're going to continue to say. But there's like 5 minutes left in this video.
Ruin my future, basically, by Don't Look Back. Boss Bitch. Do you all low-key want to hear a snippet of Boss Bitch? Let me show you guys.
Nope.
Belongs to... Also, by the way, also took this as another spiritual sign, is that in 2014, Dylan took this picture of him on his Instagram with him eating a cupcake on March 28th, my birthday. Yeah, literally, on my fucking birthday. No Sleep. That one's more like a rock theme. Pick Up the Phone. Silver Lining. That one will be coming soon. It's just I kind of need a little help with it. I wrote all of the lyrics, but I put it into like an AI thing, so it's an AI voice and not my voice right now. So I don't really want to drop the song until I feel comfortable with how I'm wanting to sing the song. Vows, basically explaining like my love for Dylan, how we both at first I was going to call it something else. What was I gonna call it? Hold on, let me go look. It might be in there. Okay, I was gonna
Wait, these might be her. She was either making covers. I thought these were his songs and she was making covers of them. I'm confused. It gets confusing. It gets very, like, getting confused mid-video. It gets this way. She does do covers of their songs, and then she also does her own things.
It takes a hold on me, but then I was like, I honestly prefer to name it Vows, because like I just want to chop it up, get to the point, you know. But then this one, I don't know what song that is right there. I don't know. And then this one is Me versus You, and then Red Wine. And by the way, this is on BandLab. I'm a sinner, but I ain't a liar. When I tell you my heart's on fire, when I open up that door, ring in his hand, he honestly, there was, every time I listen to it, it's like I kind of want to add something else to it, but that one's the vows. It's like I kind of want to say something else along the lines of, when I open up that door, ring in his hand, the kind of love that they just don't understand. But I'm like, I don't know if I want to put that there because I'm like, I don't want to ruin the song. So I might make a vows too. And by the way, this was literally a freestyle. I listened to the instrumental and I was like, type that shit up from a freestyle from my head and just went with it. So yeah, hi. I love you guys. By the way, this is Band Lab, so go check my music out.
Yes, did there? Okay. As a provider, I know not to diagnose based on just a video, but she's throwing more red flags than the current World Cup games. Thank you for subscribing. Yeah. It is a wild. Yeah, it's. I don't even know what to say. Oh God. Not again. If you're just joining us, we're talking about, we're not, I'm so nervous. We're talking about, like, what's the difference between someone who's just, like, someone who's a little bit strange and someone who's dangerous, like, in the cult realm, and I think it's charisma, and we're going to call that, we're trying to not use her name, but she's been making the circuit of commentary channels recently, and kind of a dog pile has been happening, but she is stalking someone, and it's very clear that she has mental health needs, significant mental health needs, and there have been many, I would say, the amount of videos that I've watched that she has available for people to take in, and not needing, this is not me diagnosing at all. It's interesting to see if she did have that factor of charisma. Would she be in a different category than what we have now, which is whatever we're watching? So we're trying to do like a nuanced video of like, oh my God, and all these other people like Jim Jones and Keith Raniere and all this other stuff, and then we're kind of watching a few more videos. So Yeah, we're doing our best. We're doing our best. I'm doing my best. I'm just going to put us on subscribers so that, and I'm going to take leaderboard off because what am I doing? Subscribers for, subscribing's free, by the way. I'm going to put us at 3 minutes. It's probably too twisty of a topic to, oh no, no diagnosis. Like, pattern changes is fine. Like, hey, that behavior seems like this. Talking about behavior is fine. It seems like that behavior seems like that language is fine. So saying like, oh, that person's a narcissist, that's not okay. But that behavior looks like that trait has qualities of whatever. That's fine. Talking about behaviors, talking about changes in pattern, talking about whatever, that's totally fine. I know it's like that's not that different. It's like, well, that's a difference enough for me. Out of character. Yep. Hello. Okay, let's get back to it. So, let's see. Do y'all know Jim Jones? He's our, Jim Jones is he's our Kool-Aid guy, right? Sorry, not Kool-Aid the brand, but I think Jim Jones is our Kool-Aid dude. Jim. Flavor-Aid? Kool-Aid? Find. I think that's right, no? Flavor-Aid. So, interestingly, one of the congressmen from California went out to visit Jonestown because some of his constituents left to go to Guyana. But some people ended up passing away from a melee that happened there. Let's see. Are we gonna get busted for watching this? Inside the People's Temple of Jonestown, 5 minutes, we'll watch this. If we get booted, that's okay. Oh, this is on Hulu. We're gonna get busted. Hold on. Let's see. I'm gonna watch Hulu. 1 hour, 40 minutes. 11:52. Who did this? 7 minutes? I'm trying not to get busted. News Nation. Pastor Ed Norwood. No. I think we'll pass on you. View all. Hold on. I want to get like a 10-minute video, but Hulu's gonna bust us.
Chances are...
Weird history. Five years ago. 11 minutes. We'll just try it. I mean, if we get booted, we get booted. Oh well. Okay, why? Oh, caps lock? No. Oh, Z. Okay. Can we go into theater mode? Here we go. All right. Let's do playback speed.
Chances are, you've heard the saying, don't drink the Kool-Aid. It refers to Jim Jones, a cult leader who gave his followers cyanide-laced punch, resulting in the mass murder-suicide of more than 900 people. But why would so many follow him to their deaths? Well, today, we're going to take a look at what life was like in the People's Temple cult before the Jonestown Massacre killed over 900 people. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the Weird History channel and let us know in the comments below what other infamous historical stories you would like to hear about. Okay, let's all remember.
So if y'all want to go subscribe, here's the channel. Feel free. I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area, and Jonestown was a huge deal here. We talked about it a lot in high school. It might be why I have so much interest in this kind of thing. I think I watched every documentary on Jonestown. There was a... Okay, let me fix this. There was a shooting between the Jones people and the senator and the press while they were trying to leave. Yep, you're right. I need to redo my entire layout. Yep. I think I need to bring this up and then bring this down. Oh. What am I doing wrong? No.
Remember to watch, but not drink, the Kool-Aid.
Jones had
Whoever coined
stockpiled
the expression,
cyanide.
women and children first, was definitely not thinking about Jonestown. But nonetheless, Jones and his loyalists served cyanide-laced flavor aid to Jonestown's youth before anyone else. Some adults even orally administered cyanide-filled syringes to children. According to a survivor, many adults lost their will to live after this incident. Tracy Parks, a survivor who was just 12 years old at the time, claimed there was child labor at Jonestown. After Jones's gunmen shot Parks' mother, she and her sister hid in the jungles of Guyana, while the rest of Jones's followers drank the poison. Jonestown ultimately claimed the lives of 909 people, a third of whom were children. In 2008, CNN learned Jones had started ordering and receiving shipments of cyanide in 1976, 2 years before that fateful day. These shipments are strong evidence that he had been planning that day for years. In fact, it's especially macabre, given that the majority of Jonestown residents had yet to move to Guyana in 1976. That is, he was still bringing in new followers, knowing what he was planning. To legally buy cyanide, Jones secured a jeweler's license, as jewelers could use cyanide to clean gold. Then, he started experimenting. 6 months before, Jonestown's doctor wrote the following to Jones. Cyanide is one of the most rapidly acting poisons. I would like to give about 2 grams to a large pig to see how effective our batch is. The infamous day ultimately took place on November 18, 1978, but Jones held rehearsals first. Known as White Nights, Jones would shout through the loudspeakers that surrounded the Jonestown complex. White Night, get to the pavilion, run, your lives are in danger. Jones heightened his followers' sense of danger by telling them how outsiders were coming to take them out. Even worse, Jones had armed people waiting in the jungle. To the followers, these rehearsals seemed far too real. However, it turned out the guns were firing rubber bullets, and it was all a ruse to terrify the people who lived at Jonestown. Next, Jones brought out supposedly poison flavor aid for his followers to drink. No one perished during White Nights as the drinks were safe to consume. After the drill, Jones returned to the loudspeakers, saying, "Now I know I can trust you. Go home, my darlings. Sleep tight." Though the People's Temple preached abstinence from drugs, Jim Jones himself reportedly disregarded this tenet and freely abused them. Terry Buford O'Shea, a survivor of the Jonestown compound, believed those illegal narcotics may have even contributed to Jones's mental demise. O'Shea later discovered that Jones was using to manipulate his followers. According to her, Jones's followers didn't know he was an addict. She claimed that substances were anathema at the temple, and residents weren't supposed to use them. She said after the fact, she learned that Jones had been drugging some people to keep them from trying to leave, to keep them from trying to dissent, and to control them in different ways, all unbeknownst to the masses. It was after the arrival of U.S. Representative Leo Ryan in Guyana that reportedly instigated the terrible day of Jonestown residents.
Inquire into the health and the welfare of American citizens who are here.
Ryan, then the state representative of California, had received complaints about the settlement. Family members of Jonestown residents and some of the cult's defectors had notified authorities of the happenings at Jonestown. One of those defectors was Deborah Layton, the sister of one of Jones's most trusted cronies. Layton snuck away from the compound in Guyana and went to the embassy to tell officials what she knew. After listening to many concerns and stories, Ryan and 23 others boarded a plane to the small South American country. Among them was Jackie Spear, who was then Ryan's legislative counsel, and later became a state representative of California. Spear said that after waiting 2 days for Jones to let them into the compound, they interviewed Jonestown residents and witnessed seemingly normal behavior. However, a resident passed a note to Don Harris, a reporter for NBC News who had accompanied the congressman, saying that the residents wanted to leave. According to Spear, more and more people wanted to leave, and it became clear that one plane wasn't going to be enough. The congressman decided he was going to stay behind and take the next airlift out. It was so emotionally raw. Sadly, the reports of Jones stockpiling weapons turned out to be accurate. After U.S. Representative Leo Ryan and his group attempted to remove people from the Jonestown compound, Jim Jones sent gunmen on a tractor-trailer to stop them. They opened fire on Ryan, a few journalists, and cult members, with 10 others shot and assumed dead. Earlier that day, 11 people left Jonestown in the morning. They had no idea of the horror to come. According to escapee Leslie Wilson, it was a slave camp run by a madman. Though they had come to Jonestown expecting an egalitarian paradise, the reality was dramatically different. Wilson called their 30-mile trek to another town a walk of freedom. Jones wasn't just violent with outsiders. Survivor Loa Johnson Cole said that Jones once pointed a pistol at her while she fell asleep in a meeting. Terry Buford O'Shea remembers Jones holding a gun at her. O'Shea recalled that Jones also beat people for a range of infractions, which varied in severity. The worst beating she witnessed was when somebody was accused of being abusive towards children. Jones took hold of a rubber hose and proceeded in front of others to beat this man's privates. Hey, Weird History, we've got a message about CuriosityStream. From award-winning exclusives and originals, CuriosityStream features Sign Up, who alleged he was a psychic who could see events that had yet to unfold. Laura Johnson Cole said that while she believed in Jones and his healings,
Again, we heard when we were watching, talking about being able to see things that hadn't happened yet. We heard when we were watching Lady T, and again, please don't use her name, the young lady that we were watching earlier on TikTok. She was talking about having visions of the person that she's stalking, it's interesting to see some of the similarities of like the characteristics of high control group type of people, and we see people who have charisma and people who don't as a little snapshot of two different people, and one ends up being really dangerous, and we have somebody else. Again, yes, absolutely. Absolute proof, yes, she's stalking him. Definitely, stalking is dangerous. And we also have Jim Jones doing awful things, did awful things, had charisma, and holy shit. Holy shit.
healings at the time, she later learned the truth. It turned out Jones had staged his antics, and cult members had helped set up Jones's psychic moments. Though these allegations remain unproven, Jones and his followers may be responsible for more deaths than the ones in Guyana. In fact, some believe the People's Temple were behind as many as 8 prior to the relocation to South America. In one such instance, a follower named Truth Hart had purportedly perished from congestive heart failure. But later investigators have suggested that her cause may not have been so clear-cut. Some temple members have claimed that Jones facilitated her demise after she started to disagree with him and expressed her desire to leave the cult. Supposedly, Jones ordered a People's Temple nurse to give Hart something that could induce a heart attack. Jones then predicted Hart's heart attack as a show of his clairvoyant powers. In 2003, Dr. Philip G. Zimbardo, a psychology professor at Stanford University, theorized that Jones might have learned some of his control techniques from George Orwell's novel 1984. In fact, in his 25 years of research and extensive interviews with Jonestown survivors, Zimbardo found several remarkable similarities between Jones's methods and those portrayed in the famous novel. For example, Orwell's idea of Big Brother may have existed in Jonestown, as Jim Jones made cult members spy on each other and used loudspeakers throughout the compound to continually broadcast his voice. Jones also forced his followers to give him information that he could later use against them, which is similar to what happened to the main character in 1984. Also, many who read 1984 1984, remember Newspeak, the propaganda language used in the novel's fictional dystopia of Oceania. Well, Jones adopted an analogous measure by making his followers thank him for food and work. According to Zimbardo's research, Jones even commissioned a song that his followers were required to sing at Jonestown about the advent of the year 1984. Jeff Ginn, an investigative journalist and author of the book The Road to Jonestown, Jim Jones and the People's Temple, said in an interview, if Jim Jones had been hit by a car and killed somewhere toward the end of the 1950s, he'd be remembered today as one of the great leaders in the early civil rights movement. Jones's charisma, along with his convincing blend of Christian and Marxist beliefs, attracted many people to the People's Temple. The vast majority of his followers were African American, as Jones claimed to be advancing racial equality. In addition, the church had connection with the Nation of Islam and the Black Panthers, and Jones worked to end segregation in places such as restaurants and movie theaters. Jones also adopted and raised children from diverse backgrounds. Jones initially pitched the vision of Jonestown as a paradise, free from the inequality present in the United States. However, this was not the reality at Jonestown, and just like his psychic powers, his belief in civil rights may have never been anything more than a ruse. The choice to settle the People's Temple in Guyana was intentional. Jones needed an English-speaking country with a large black population and a socialist government. Aside from Guyana, Jones's only other option was Grenada. However, another party ultimately outbid the People's Temple for the plot of land in Grenada. So Guyana it was. And Guyana benefited from the deal with Jim Jones. The land the People's Temple used was previously an area that prompted a conflict with Venezuela. The Jonestown settlement gave Guyana an advantage when it came to potential future conflicts with Venezuela. If Venezuela decided to come after the land again, they would have to deal with nearly 1,000 American citizens. After Jonestown, the remains were transported back to the United States, but some were unable to be claimed by relatives. Many people at Jonestown had changed their names, and though some had records of their real identities, not all did. Some took on the last name Jones to show their loyalty to Jim Jones, while others assumed traditional African names. This was a popular practice among African Americans at the time, independent of Jonestown, and the primary reason why many of the Jonestown victims went unidentified. Others changed their names to support the ideologies of Che Guevara and Lenin, the former leader of the Soviet Union. Allegedly, Jim Jones outlawed the name Linda after a woman with the same name defected and left the cult. However, it's unclear who, if anyone, changed her name because of this decree. So what do you think? Why do you think so many people follow Jim Jones? Let us know in the comments below, and while you're at it...
I'm just sad because when, like, all those people died, but they weren't able to have their family claim their bodies because their names had been changed. Okay. So, like, here's the thing. Jim Jones led over 900 people to their deaths at Jonestown. And when I was looking at this earlier, what's his name? Come on, brain. Let me go to my history tab. What's his name? Cult expert Philip Zimbardo called him probably the most charismatic cult leader in modern times. His personal appeal, his oratory, his sheer dynamism. And that link to that quote is in the description. So Jim Jones's belief didn't stay his, it became thousands of people's shared reality, and membership hit the thousands, then 20,000 at its San Francisco peak. Again, link in the description. Jim Jones transmitted it, staged healings with planted actors, made himself the only solution to threats he manufactured, broke family ties so loyalty to him came first. What's the point? The horror required the transmission. Jim Jones, his belief, I hate to say it. I hate to say the anti-MLM thing, poured into 1,000 minds because he was magnetic enough to pour it. Charisma. And then we find ourselves next up, batter up, Keith Raniere. If you don't know who Keith Raniere is, The Vow. His right-hand girl, if you've ever seen it, Smallville, Chloe, whatever her name is, she was his Girl Friday, grab a girl for branding 101. And again, being part of a group, like, not a bad thing. Finding a group that's healthy, helpful. Super helpful. Clanka! Hero! We're talking about cults. I remember reading some bodies looked like they had been forced to consume the Kool-Aid. I bet so. That doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me. Because of course, the leader would have wanted it to look like everyone played ball. And he found the perfect audience and community to pick off of in San Francisco at the time. But is this Lady T good info or strange info? My thesis, here's my thing. And I'm probably the only person who thinks this, and this may be like I may have picked like a bad example. I think that she displayed, like, the first time I saw her on a commentary channel, and is the thought after I finished watching it, and I was like, the story that she has committed to and is relaying and double downing on, if she had any type of charisma, like, the audience she has, done deal, cult leader, in my opinion, because she's displaying all the characteristics that other cult leaders display, in my opinion. She's not trying to convert people. People are obsessed with watching, like, the dumpster fire. I know this is a little bit convoluted and people get frustrated, like, I'm not saying y'all are frustrated. I think, like, I'm not trying to force something. I think, like, I'm trying to walk a very, like, nuanced line that, like, maybe is less meaningful than I thought it was. I think, like, probably Keith. So let me just. I think everybody knows Keith Raniere, like, MLM and sex cult, right? We know about the MLM part. We know about the sex cult part. We know that he got taken in because of what was it? He got taken in for something else, not for like the sex stuff, but like they both had strange beliefs. The danger part came in for both because being strange isn't against the law. The issue is they both could make other people live inside their reality, and that's the charisma, like, doing its work. And like hold that thought for like a second. I'm gonna tie like the point together. I'm nervous because I'm trying to like be chronological, and it's not my strongest suit. Lady T has built this kind of like strange following around this belief that she's in a relationship. Literally, so many videos that she's built this, and she's done this before with another person, but she's done this with this guy specifically, that she's built this following around a belief that she's in a relationship that she's not in, that she's engaged to this person, which is wild. With it, and he's a musician, and then she's adopted his last name, and the guy, Dylan, says on camera that he never had a relationship with her. And he he believes she overheard him mention his band and ran with it. And he has asked people not to harass her. And so that's why I'm like, didn't put her name in the title, didn't put her name in the description. I'm trying to very like sparingly like mention her name here. I've only played one of her videos. Like, I'm trying to like play her videos a little bit, but not like make it about her exactly. But I'm sorry. I'm like so. Oh yeah, Keith was a monster. Yeah. Yeah, we watched The Vow in Discord together. People are now, there are some people that are watching the dumpster fire. There are some people that are like supporting her. There are some people like just going and following her because they want to see like how it ends. There are some people that are rooting for her. Like, I think she's genuinely like in distress, struggling with her mental health. I'm trying to like make this a not dogpile situation. I'm really trying to like walk the line of like describing what she says on her videos and not what's happening like in her mind. I'm trying to like describe like what she's claiming in her videos But there's like literally like the amount of videos I've watched on her and like other creators who have done better research, but like there's no evidence for anything that she's claimed. And I don't know what she believes. It's hard for me not to call them lies because like I see the world very much like black and white with a lot of like empathy butter spread across a lot of things. I guess this doesn't taste very good in my mouth, but unsupported claims as an overarching like umbrella of frustration, but she has her belief just like Keith and Jim Jones. She has her platform just like Keith and Jim Jones. So she has a smaller number on TikTok, but that doesn't mean like she has millions of views on a lot of her videos. She has like this persistence in making videos and knowing people are watching her. She keeps showing up as she's been doing. She has the starter kit basically in MLM terms or whatever of like what Jim Jones had, what Keith Raniere had, what other high control group leaders have. So like I guess like I'm asking the question like, is anyone else buying it? I don't think anyone else right now is buying it. Has anyone else decided that that she is also in this relationship? Has anyone else decided that her reality is true? I don't think so. No. No one has. The belief has not been sealed inside one person. It's gone nowhere. That's the difference between her and Keith Raniere and Jim Jones. That's the difference. So like in an actual like high control group, the leader's like private reality becomes the group's reality. People don't just watch, they believe. Like here, people watch at her, not with her. Same like ingredients that Jones had, that Raniere had, and they have opposite results. Because the one ingredient that turns a spectator into a follower, the thing that lets a belief jump from one head into 1,000, is missing. And that's like charisma. Because like she can't convince anyone that any of it's true. I think like this is what it looks like. Lady T, and what we're looking at is what it looks like when it's gone. What like a high control group leader looks like when no charisma is present. I think the danger is not the strangeness of the belief. It's not the size of the platform. It's the magnetism. to transmit it. So, I don't know. I'm not like being very, I'm not like communicating what I want to communicate. She, when she was in the mental health facility, he worked there as a, he worked there as one of the, like, people, I think as one of the therapists there. Not like a therapist, but one of the caregivers. So when she was in one of her inpatient programs, he was there and she got attached. So he didn't work with her directly. She saw him and hyper focused on him. And then because she had access to the internet at that facility, she basically learned everything about him and began to stalk him. So, yeah, like, again, like, I guess, yes. I think that there's far more people out there who are concerning. My thing is, she's not, this is a situation where I'm not trying to say, oh my gosh, she's someone to look out for. It's more like these characteristics show up in high control group leaders, and when you remove charisma, this is what it looks like. And why is charisma the part of the equation that suddenly creates this force to be reckoned with? It's what helps someone's belief jump from one person to thousands of people. And that's what I was trying to like poorly say like in the past hour and 42 minutes. So like it's the charisma that people like, it's the charisma that allows belief to jump from one person to like lots of people. I think she knows people are watching, but I don't think she like can like again, I'm also trying to be careful because like she, as someone who also struggles with their mental health, I was trying to keep this more like, here is a sliver of a situation, and I didn't want to like dogpile on it. Oh no. Yeah, no, I mean, I also like, I'm not a good communicator. Yeah, like my idea, what I was trying to, and we can watch I was only gonna watch a few of her videos because we only watched one so far. What I was trying to say, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I saw, when I watched her, I saw lots of things that reminded me, that were like, reminded me of things that high control group leaders do that were red flags. One was creating their own like reality. Set that aside, like, I'm not diagnosing her, but creating their own story of like what happened, which I know that high control group leaders do. Setting aside like the mental health stuff. She talked about having visions. She easily filled in information when people would ask her things that they had gaps, or they that would catch her like on her like back foot because she didn't have a consistent timeline. Like there were basically like there were lots of behaviors that I saw in the many videos that she posted that were like perked my ears up for that made me curious to listen to more of her videos. More of her videos that were like these behaviors seems like they would line up on like a layout of someone who would be a high control group leader, but it doesn't quite line up. And why would that be? Because she doesn't have that charisma of like the type of charisma that lets belief spread. So maybe there's multiple types of charisma. So maybe I'd have to make that a longer statement of like the type of charisma that lets belief spread, and she's the case where it doesn't. Long story long. So we can watch more videos. We'll watch a few more. And again, there's a source list in the description box. I tried to link stuff, so if y'all want to watch more, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline are for the US are in the website, and the call line is in the description. It's also pinned in the chat box. So we'll watch some more of her videos. Just like, if you haven't seen her videos, it probably looks like I'm making a big deal out of nothing, but maybe my brain is tying things together that it shouldn't. It's hard to communicate what my brain is like screaming about. Okay. Okay. Happy Mother's Day to my wife, husband, baby mama, Dylan Sperry. I want to show you okay. There's one where she's talking about
So here is another story time about Timber Sperry and Dylan Sperry. Me and my man. So basically, this was around like September, October 2025, somewhere around there. So anyways, I had basically ended up getting my TV. And honestly, let me just start from the beginning. Fuck that shit. Let me just start from the first day that I got there, okay? So, the first day that I got there to the program, it was just me and Dylan. We had this little one-on-one thing. As you guys know, he took me grocery shopping, okay? And
you
he
didn't.
was just staring into my soul, like, the whole entire car ride. Like, he was actually just staring into my soul. And, like, we were just talking, we were just vibing, like, chatting it up, all that kind of stuff, you know, whatever, lovey-dovey. And about a couple days later, he's working, and I ended up getting my TV. And I'm like, Dylan, I'm not really good at, like, electronics, all that kind of stuff. I ended up getting my TV and my PlayStation. Dylan was working, and I was like, hey, could you help me hook up my PlayStation and my TV? He was like, yeah, I can. He was like, yeah, hon, I could help you hook up your TV and all that kind of stuff, right? This dude was in my room with the smile on his face, like the happiest smile on his face.
Oh, she do I want to skip this part? She's gonna make some. She's about to. I want to skip this. Yeah. The rewriting reality is what gets me. She is very inconsistent in her storytelling too. She had the charisma and consistency. I can see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah, she's about to say, like, she's about to, like, sexualize him. So you get the idea. Like, she's here.
What is up, you guys? Story time about my baby dad. I'm just calling him that because he just a fucking sperm donor. I ain't got nothing to do with him, and nothing. Jeez, about nothing to do with him, on bro, him, okay? So, anyways. So, let's start with elementary school. Okay, let's just start at elementary school, okay? So, this dude, Cody, is the guy's name, the baby dad, okay? I don't even want to call him my baby dad, though. Like, that's how not obsessed I am with him. Like, I'm just using whitewash terms for your guys' sake, okay? So you guys can understand the story. So if I call him my baby dad, like, I don't fucking like this guy.
Okay, here. Oh God. What is happening? Please hold. X. I'm having overheating issues. Here's the TLDR. There. What am I supposed to say? How am I supposed to say this? There are. She says all these things, and there's no evidence to prove that she was ever pregnant or ever had a miscarriage. So she tells this long-winded story about how she's about to tell a long-winded story about her quote-unquote baby daddy and how she has been quote-unquote pregnant for the next 3 to 4 years before she met Dylan from Cody. And there's unsupported claims that reality doesn't support. She says she was about to say a bunch of stuff, and there's no evidence to support that. And if she had charisma, and if she was consistent, like y'all were saying in the chat, then and again, would that matter? Like, what would she do with a following? I don't know. But I also know what do some of these MLM people do with a following. They make money and talk people into science bullshit. I'm just saying, like, the difference. What I'm trying to say is the difference between a strange belief and a dangerous, like a dangerous one, a dangerous person. It's a strange and danger is charisma. Like, so that's all I was trying to, I don't know. That charisma is what lets belief spread, and you know, she's a case where it doesn't, because thank God. Thank God. If you want to see, like, the oh my God, Repzilla did a video on her. I think Marky's done a video. The reason I didn't put her name in my title, I didn't want to make this video about her. I didn't put her name in the description. I wanted to really, like, just do a nuance, like, I don't think she's, the guy that she's stalking specifically asked, like, don't dogpile on her. Great. I'm just saying, as a person who watches a lot of anti-MLM stuff, who sees a lot of high control group characteristics in a lot of these pyramid scheme performers and CEOs doing fuckery all the time, watching a bunch of hours of her stuff, and me looking at her behaviors going, huh, what's the difference? What, you know, she's showing all these things. What would happen if she did have this something? What is this something she's missing? What is that something she's missing if between her and Keith Raniere, her and Jim Jones, her and XYZ? And I think it's charisma. So I think it's that little bridge that gets whatever is in your head to jump in, to pour into a bunch of other people. Yeah. I think it's that, like, it shorts out. And why does it short out? She doesn't have charisma. I mean, obviously people watch her for sure, but it's more of a dumpster fire. But yeah, if you want to watch like and see like, oh my God, what's really going on? A bunch of commentary channels have covered it, but it's at trigger warning. A lot of trigger warning. A lot of trigger warning. So, like, trigger warning, like, lying about pregnancy, lying about miscarriage, but talk about, like, believing that you have, like, when you watch all of this and what she says what she says she has said to other people, and like what she thinks she has control of with the guy she's stalking and his wife and his, like, the guy's daughter, it's gonna make more sense why I'm stuck on this idea about the charisma. I guess I should have talked more about the twistiness. I'm stuck between the guy she's stalking and him not wanting people to continue to make videos on her, and also feeling like knowing that this is a certain important example of behavior, because if y'all go and watch someone else's better layout of like her videos, the extensive telling of the story, especially on Repzilla's layout of her videos, the way that she expresses herself, her reality, her control of reality on other people's reality, and what she thinks that she has control over, is very much curious flags that look very similar to other high control group leaders. Yes, thankfully she seems to lack the ability to influence others, I think because she doesn't have charisma. I don't think that she is able to draw people to herself because she doesn't have charisma. And maybe I describe that as charisma, but maybe there's a better word for it. Like, whatever word that is that, like, makes people want to, like, be friends with you. But I don't know what that word is. That, like, magnetism? Maybe I'm thinking magnetism. In my mind, it's charisma, but maybe the better word is magnetism. Like, maybe it's like a like, I think whatever that feeling of, like, whenever you were in school and you know what the popular kid is, or you've seen the popular kid and a lot of people want to be friends with that person, it's that feeling. And maybe it's like, it's the it could be. It's just that, like, oh gosh, like, everybody's wanting to be friends with whomever that person is. And then not only do you have the magnetism, you then are able to convert your belief into getting all of those people to be your hive, whatever. Your minions, whatever that is. So, maybe that's a better way to communicate what she doesn't have. Because that's different than being like a dumpster fire. And I'm not trying to say a person is a dumpster fire. I think the situation is a dumpster fire, which is different than whatever. So, anyways, thanks for hanging out. Sorry I didn't bring that in better, but appreciate y'all hanging out. I hope, I don't know, I think there's better ways to like check out the person we talked about today, because like Repzilla had a good video. I don't know who else to watch like that has like a better like overview. Maybe the Do We Know Them podcast. I wish I had someone who would be like, oh yeah, this is great, but I don't know. I think the scary ones, and the sad ones can start from like the same place. Fixed belief and a platform. I think what we were just talking about, what separates them is talent, magnetism, charisma, whatever word we agreed on. And it's that. Not a virtue. The ability to make other people feel your like certainty about yourself, about your belief, whatever that is. And when you meet someone who makes their conviction feel contagious, who makes you feel chosen for believing them, that's not a green light. That's moment to slow down. I hope we all learn that, because especially in anti-MLM, now that we're here, dear God, I wish I had learned that in 2014. And Lady T, the person we referenced today, leave her alone, like Dylan asked us to. We looked at her, recognized her, scroll, move on. And if you're struggling, and you're here in the US, dial 988. Sources are in the description. The link and the number are also in the description. Don't take my word for it. That's the whole point. Look for yourself. And I will see you later. Bye.